Well, we basically were living in Teddington, and we decided we wanted to move. And we saw next door to us, or 2 down from us in Teddington, these builders that were doing a very good job. Quick, efficient, and very lovely people. So we went to them and said, how are you? What are you doing? And they said, we're Samuel Builders and we're doing this window at the top of the house. And we just said, good job, and then forgot about it. And then we moved house, came down to Walton-on-Thames and thought, hang on a minute, there was these builders in Teddington who were really good. So we decided to give Samuel a call. We didn't even know we were going to start a project. We just said, Samuel, we want this wall taken down, or we want to buy a porch outside porch outside the house, didn't we?
Basically, it started off as quite a small project. Dave had this obsession about the roof, which was kind of like it was almost like an old-fashioned hat. It just went higher and higher and higher. And he kept saying to me, that roof is 1/3 of this house. I have paid for that roof.
We paid a lot of money for this house.
Yes,
And they
quite.
thought, why are we paying this money? Huh?
And
We can't live in it, we can't move in it, we can't go there.
It was just full of the
Junk,
previous 2 owners of this home. It was full of their junk that they couldn't be bothered to move. So when Sammy came around to have a look at the small jobs that we'd asked him to do, Dave said, Sammy, would you mind just hopping up into the attic to see, well, what it's like? And I've just got this picture of Sam peering down at us through the black hole that was the entrance to the roof space and saying, it's amazing. It's 3.5 meters height. This would be fantastic. And Dave started to get really, really excited. And I just felt sick because the last in the world you want at our age and stage is roof conversion. So I tried to get a word in, and in the end I thought, oh, do you know what? I'm just going to dive in and go with the flow. And then I started having ideas.
Sammy was great. Sammy was good because he said, why don't you do the small jobs? We could consider the 3 or 4 small jobs, like a small wall partition coming down and blah, 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 blah. He said, well, let's do the big one and we can do the small ones as we go. And we thought, this guy's good. He's a clever guy, you know. He kind of knows how to fish in the clients. So I was excited because I thought, you know, I paid a lot of money for this house. At least we're going to be able to use 1/3 of it on the top. And it started really, really quick. Before we could blink, there was scaffolding all the way around the house. And these guys were running up and down ladders.
And a proper tin hat and everything.
Oh, yeah, a roof, tin hat.
So it didn't matter. It could wind, snow, rain, everything.
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
Yeah. The guys were fantastic, actually, because what was really good is the teams that Samuel employed were all connected. So we had a different team doing the scaffolding and a different team doing the roof. And the guys with the skip were coming, and they were actually, it's incredible to say that even the guys who drove the skip were actually quite pleasant.
This is unusual.
They were quite friendly, you know. Yeah, so we could chat with them and say, how are you doing? Do you want a coffee? Blah, 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 blah. So it kind of worked. We were, certainly for the first 2 or 3 months, there was kind of excitement as to what we were going. It was coming up to Christmas, so we were going, this is great. We're going to be able to see this amazing room and everything. But what we were doing, we were just literally, like with the builders, we were just running up the ladder outside, seeing what was going on. It was great fun.
I wasn't running up the ladder.
That's right. Team was in a bucket, sitting, and they were hoisting her up the bucket. So,
Foolish boy.
in the bucket.
One thing that I think Samuel is excellent at is communication. He's very clear, he's very honest, and we've done several renovations, and we know a rough figure that, you know, we're good at estimating, actually, because of our experiences. And when we said, well, you know, give us a costing of what we want to do, the smaller jobs, we were actually very impressed, because it was pretty much what I would have thought. I'm probably a bit better than Davy is.
Well, there were no surprises.
No, there weren't.
With what we'd asked for.
Yeah.
We did fall down the rabbit hole a little bit, because we decided to play the "while you're here, can you do?"
Yes, it was our fault. ...
But that, if I'm talking to prospective clients in this thing at the moment, I think Samuel and the boys are great at that, because you don't feel that you're getting a massive, oh, that will cost you triple what you think. And while they were here, they did more work for us than we had actually asked them for. So it was actually pretty good. And we didn't ring up Samuel and go, help, help, please. We would sit down and talk about the extra bits and pieces that we wanted, because it was crazy to think that we would have to get them back in a year or 2 years to do those other bits and pieces. So the communication was very, very good.
I think Samuel's initial estimate was in the ballpark figure that I would have thought. Obviously, post-pandemic, prices have gone up, but I always felt that he looked for the best price and the best quality of goods. So when, as inevitably happens when you're renovating an older property, you come across things that you need to adjust what you had planned doing. There was a little pause, we talked about it, we worked out how we could do it, and he costed that up and we agreed it. So there was never a shock. Never at any point was there a shock.
Well, that's a matter of opinion.
It's a shock at our age and stage just to wake up in the morning. We used to say, "Good morning, darling," to one another. Now we just say, "Morning, are you all right?"
Are you all right? Yes, I know. Are you all right? It was a very interesting little routine we got into, which was, we enjoyed it because it carried on after they'd gone. But every morning we would look out of the window and see the vans arriving, and we'd go, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teas, 2 coffees, blah blah blah, and then they'd come into the drive, and then we would do coffees. And this is important, I think.
It is.
That we saw them coming, and this was during the winter time when it was quite dark. They would come 7:30, and then by 8 o'clock, after they'd had their coffee, they would be working. And the fantastic thing was that they would work until 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Every day.
And even on the roof, it was dark and they had lights on. And we were amazed because we'd had experience of builders before where, you know, they take 3 hours at lunch and then leave at 3 in the afternoon. And Samuel's guys never did that. So we would get a lot of work done during the week. So the schedule was, you could see every day, we would say this, every day you could see something happening. That was very exciting, every day.
It was.
Yeah, it was interesting with a skip arriving and a lot of the roof being dismantled with a chute coming down and all the tiles falling through, and it would always be dusty, always be dirty. But it was every day those guys were very keen to make sure that they would get rid of the surface dirt so that we could walk out. And only once in the whole build, which was probably 7 months, 8 months, did Samuel say, I think you need to leave home. Because It's like, he wasn't saying, I want you to leave home because I want your house. He was saying...
But he did say that.
He did say that. But you should leave home because there will be a mess inside. We were taking bedroom walls down. We were taking partition wall, big walls down. Yeah. So it would have been horrible. So we went away for 6 days, and that was the only time we were told to go away. And when we came back, it was incredible because the plaster was drying on all the walls that they'd worked on, and there was no mess anywhere. And we kept thinking, we were checking to see if anything else, what's going on, So it was really excellent, really good. So we were very happy with everybody who came in, from the plasterers to the builders to the actual dismantling of the walls and everything. It was tidy, wasn't it?
Yes.
Because we lived here while this was all going on as well for most of the time, so apart from those 6 days. So yeah.
So I'm often the driver for a house move, and that was the case for this move to this house. We had downsized from our family home of 26 years, 10 years before, to a terraced house in Teddington, which was great. And neither of our daughters and their husbands at that point had, oh yes, no, we did. We had one granddaughter, and that was fine. And she's very peaceful. She's, it was lovely. She would come and stay with us, and it worked really well. Then, a bit like buses, 3 grandsons arrived over the lockdown periods during the pandemic. This didn't work quite so well when they came to visit us. And when you're living in a terraced house, the shrieking. I've got a T-shirt, and on it is written, "No screaming in Glammy's house," because the boys would just reach such a pitch of hysteria that I could almost feel our wonderful neighbours on either side going, "What on earth is going on next door?" And I just said to Dave, "This just isn't going to get work. This isn't going to work. It's going to get worse because they're going to get bigger. We've got to move to a bigger house, and preferably a detached one." And that's why we moved here.
So here we are. So we said to Samuel, this is where grandchild 1 and 2 and 3 will go, and make the doors very thick, so that we can close them, and then big locks we can put them into.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's great here because they the first time they came here, it sounds incredibly grand. But we have these gates outside, which is crazy. And they came in, got their scooters out, and literally as the door was opened on the front and the door was open on the back, they had their scooters and they scooted all the way through the house into the garden. Even though they weren't allowed to do that, I thought...
Not by us, that was their parents.
I thought, that's just the way it is, that's so fantastic.
It's madness.
That they've got this in there, they're tiny, and they must look at this and go, this is the biggest thing we've ever seen in our lives, So when they walk up the stairs, it's like huge, huge, huge for them. And there's something very joyful about seeing these little rat bags, walking around going, this is part of our life.
Yeah, hide and seek.
So something that's it. They in the area at the top of the house that Samuel did. He built some cupboards, and the first thing we saw when we couldn't find the children, they were hiding in all the cupboards with pillows and duvets and everything. And it was great. It was great fun. I think if you're going to do a project, find some little cupboards and spaces for your grandkids, because it's kind of fun to do. Yeah. Say to Sammy, I want cupboards for grandchildren.
Yes, yes.
So it was very good. I mean, we work from home. We've always worked from home, and this has become a very nice place to work out of. And when people come to see us, we have different rooms that have been created from nothing that are just peaceful rooms, chatty rooms, you know, sunshine rooms. And they weren't there before. So really grateful thanks to Samuel for creating new spaces that didn't exist before he came.
Actually, yes, I echo everything you say. The one thing Sammy asked right at the beginning is, what do you want from this house? And I said, a feeling of light and space.
That's a good question. I think enjoyable.
I was going to say joy.
It was easy, which is a weird word to use when you're doing a building project. And it was in the sense of, how do you express, we got to know some new people. So from a friendship point of view, I said to Samuel at one point, I said, you're the only builder that we've ever used or met that we haven't taken to court.
It's not quite that bad.
Well, it was. It was. We basically had that experience where when we finished, we hugged in the hallway because we said, thank you so much for a great job. This doesn't sound right. You didn't do that with a builder, you know, but we did actually. So from that point of view, the relationship, that's another word. So the relationship was very, very strong. To the point where we could ring Sam and say, can you just look at this? This is a bit of a thing that's maybe happened. Is that normal, or can you repair that? Or there's bound to be things that go wrong or break or just don't work the first time round. So we just said, how about that? And he went, straight, I'll come round. You know, so that was great, because often when you finish a big job, a lot of builders don't care about the small things. So, you know, they cared about the small things, you know.
Reliable.
Yeah, reliable, good word. You may have to have 5 words.
Listening, I'm just, you know.
That's good, yeah. But the thing that's important is that because we've had experiences in the past, you tend to remember the things that have gone wrong. And I genuinely, I mean, I know this is crazy. It's like Sam's paid us money to say this, but we can't think of anything that we would remember where it went wrong and didn't get sorted quickly.
With kindness.
Yeah.
With kindness.
We were at one point, we were just in the back of the house, and the drains were going crazy, and the smell, and we were saying to Sam, what do we do? And within a very short amount of time, the boys were digging. It was like they were digging a tunnel, you know, to get to the... They were digging a tunnel. And there was nothing that was... Yes, exactly, yes.
Trying to escape.
There was nothing that was too difficult that they would look at and go, no, we can sort this out, which makes you feel peaceful. There's another word, peaceful. There's kind of, you should do 10 words.
Yeah.
Make it hard.
I know.
Trust. Right. They not only do a great job of building in your home, they build trust. That's key. Trust.
Each morning when some of the guys would arrive, we knew Daniel would be on the roof with Gregory on the roof, and we knew then that Vio, who's the plumber, came. We knew, okay, plumbing's going to be done, a bit of electric's done today, and then Eddie would come, who's the woodwork guy, and he would come. We go, we're going to do some woodwork today. So we kind of had an idea.
Yeah.
Without necessarily Samuel ticking off a list, we kind of knew the areas they were going to work in, which is why we could see changes every day, which is very lovely, you know, because it's not a building site, it was a home, you know, and I think that's kind of important that Sam knew that. You know?
Yeah. That's the thing that Sammy gets, is that you're making a home. It's not a building site. You're making a home. And it's a very different approach. It's lovely. It's like having a family.
Yep.
Actually, I want to say something which is quite serious. in the early stages, kind of the most tricky, and the stages where everybody needed to be, you know, on top of things. First of all, Daniel, who is the kind of foreman, if you like. I mean, he's so much more than that. He's a very skilled builder. His daughter became seriously ill, and we fully expected not to see him for a matter of weeks. But he tag-teamed with his wife and other friends, I'm sure, and family members, and was here at 8 o'clock in the morning for the vast majority of the time that his daughter was so unwell. And then Samuel's son was struck down and was very, very seriously ill, to the point they feared for his life. And Samuel and his wife tag-teamed their children's care, and he kept on. He kept on. So we kept saying, "You can't. It's okay. We'll. You know, it's all right. Step back. As insofar as it's safe to step back. You know, make it so that you can do what you need to do." And both Daniel and Samuel said, "No, we're fine. We're managing fine." And we all share something, actually, between us, which is a deep faith in God. So this house, I'd always felt, would be a house of prayer. And oh my word, it became a house of prayer.
Finished. It took 7 months, 8 months to do. And as soon as the guys had walked out of the house, we were kind of thinking, how will this end? Not when will it end, but how will it end? Because we saw lots of material around the house and around the garage, and, you know, bricks and cement and tiles. And then all of a sudden it just went, it cleared very quickly. And we saw one of the guys cleaning the drive with a hose, with a power washer. And we're thinking, this came so quickly.
It was Costa. He was loving that.
He was great. He was just doing it almost backwards. And as he kind of finished, it was like as if the gates closed and it finished.
Yeah.
It had finished almost like a story, which is extraordinary. So we sat, you know, we're now a few months away from having it finished and we're enjoying it. But as soon as we sat down and having a coffee at the cafe, we said, what's next? Where should we go now? So we've got an idea that if we do go anywhere, and please God we're still alive, we've got Samuel we can call on to go, next house, Samuel, help. So there's something very exciting about the prospect that, you know, if we did decide to do something different, and you know, we've got somebody to call up and say, we've got a plan.
This is our last big house, Dave.
Do you think? Okay.
Yes. The next house is going to be a little cottage by the sea, maybe.
Well, that's all right.
Oh, and you can't leave out
Who?
Papa Ian.
Oh yes, we had a fantastic. Samuel invited his parents to come from Romania.
Well, not to see this house.
No, but they came for Christmas. And Samuel's dad said, Daddy was a very lovely guy, but he's not sitting around guy. He wants to get on with things. So he came with Samuel to help out. And this was extraordinary because one day we went out for coffee and we came back and he had gloves on and he was pruning the bushes in our garden. Because he said, this tree will die. This is no good. This is... So he was helping doing the gardening because he was here. Mm. That's it. Mm. We didn't book a gardener. He was just there helping out. So when it came to the summertime and he'd gone back to Romania and we took a big picture of this tree that he'd
Hydrangea. It was a hydrangea bush.
huge.
Gorgeous. Well, it's going.
great.
It's out in the front.
So if you book Samuel, you may get Samuel's father to do your garden.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he clearly wants to keep an eye on his boys.
Yes, exactly.
And make sure that they're,
They're good.
up to it.
Yeah, yeah.